Hi, it's Karen from Liongate Farm, and this is part 2 of our little fox video. Today we're going to do some ears, the eyes, his little poofs, the chest, the tail, and then we'll put his body color on. So we got this far last week. Got in a little nose, and he's ready for his ears and his eyes. So let's put his eyes on first. I don't know why he keeps falling over. Probably because I like it. So you're going to take a little piece of black, a couple fibers, roll it up, and then just poke it into a nice little circle. You don't want it too big. Got one little eye. Try and make them the same size. It's always a good idea. All right, so we've got little eyes on here. My guy is all messed up. Hold on. Let's stand him up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make some ears. So you can see these ears are fox color, black, white. So first thing you're going to do is take a little tuft of black. Little tuft. You can see through it. Then we're going to work with our fox color. I'm making little stacks. And I'm going to lay it on there on top of the black for right now. And I want you to draw your ears. So you're making a triangle. The triangle is a 1/2 inch at the bottom. They're 1/2 inch by to the top. So 1/2 inch, you're going to fold it over. Fold it over. We want that black to merge in to the tips. So we're going to fold it over. We're going to do it again over here. About a 1/2 inch by a 1/2 inch. Fold it over. This one has a little more black. That's okay. Fold it in. Now take your little multi-tool. Stab them a little. Now we're going to flip them. I like to use my single needle first. You want them to maintain that triangle shape. We're going to leave all this fringe down here. That's how we're going to put them on his head. Multi-tool. Oops. Flip them back over. I always like to work my ears at the same time so they pretty much look the same. And now take a tiny bit of white and add it in, just a tiny bit. We're just gonna add it in. It can be kind of loose. Leave it kind of loose. So now you have your little ears. Just doing a little stabbing because of the whites that came through. They go in that triangle. Nose to eye, middle of the ear. And when you put them on, stab them towards the middle of the ear. Don't worry about all this fuzz and the black. Don't worry about that at all. So you have one little ear. add this other ear. Nose to eye to middle of the ear. Again, stab them towards the center of the ear. That just makes them stand out just a hair. And then just stab all this fuzz in. So we have 2 little ears. We're not going to worry about all this stuff back here. We're going to take a piece like this. It needs to be a little longer, like this. We want a little piece. It's kind of a nice fluffy piece. This is the back of his head. And we're just going to stab it in. Don't worry about this fuzz over here. Let the fuzz go out. Don't resist the urge to stab it all in, but you are going to stab the back of the head. So the back of the head is like from the ears down. The neck, because we want that fuzz. Because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of white, make a little stack, and we're going to join it right here. Kind of go up to the ear. And then this is where I take a little tiny bit of this squirrel color, this gray color. I mean a tiny bit. And I put it we're blending it into the nose up to here. So this is white up here. This will be squirrel. And then just let it flow back into the white and the red, fox color. When it's stabbed in really good around his nose. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. Take a little fluff of white. Again, we're going to kind of find the side of his nose. Don't lose his mouth. Have a little bit of squirrel from the other side. Maybe a little tiny bit more. You can judge this. You don't have to put this here. I just like the shading. And I like how it goes into the fluff. So you want to carve out his little head. Don't worry about all this right now. We're going to trim that in a while. So now let's put his little chest on. You're going to take a nice size of white, probably 3.5 inches. Nice fluffy piece, and you're going to make a pillow. Just roll it into a little pillow, stretch it out a little bit, and this piece is going to go right here. Blend that up into his chin. I noticed I'm pretty hairy right here. I'll work on that in a minute. Let it come down into between his legs. You can stretch it all the way back. I like to go up right there a little bit. You don't really have to poke this too much. Unless you're using merino, then you'll have to poke it a lot. I keep saying that. It's just that I don't felt with merino hardly ever. Okay, so now we're going to add some body color. It's starting to look like a fox. Tilt his head up. And we're just going to start felting it in. I like to let it blend into the white a little bit. Take a piece that's, you know, a little bit like 4 inches long, and we're going to, once you have this piece on, you're going to take this and you're going to wrap it around his legs. Come back up, just like we did with the core wool, except this will build up the rest of his shoulder in the right color. Without getting any in the white. Now you can see you just built his elbow. Got an elbow right there. We're gonna do the same thing to the back leg before we put the body color on. We're gonna come down and around. Oops, I didn't draft it out far enough. We're gonna come, hold your finger here. You're gonna come down, around, go back around his thigh one more time. Back up. Work that into his body. Now go on the other side and complete the same steps on this side. I'm gonna felt a little bit inside this leg to get it smooth. When you're wrapping, it should be pretty tight, so you don't have to do too much felting. Again, hold your finger here. Well, let's put this piece on first. If you have fluff, let it go up into that fluff. I'm going to wrap it around and around. Back up. Again, secure it. You don't have to if you want to hold on to it like I do. Draft it out a little bit. This thigh was a little bit wider than the other one, so I only had to go around once. So I have extra, so I'm going to come back. Nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go to there. his little hiney will form naturally with the way we're wrapping. Again, you can get in here and finish this. Okay, so we're gonna cover the rest of the body and get it all, just little bits at a time, and get it all stabbed in. Once you get him all covered, you kind of want to make sure you're sculpting in his little muscles. So this is where pictures come in handy. You have a little thigh muscle right here. And things should be forming as you go along because we built them up. So as you're smoothing this out, and notice I'm using my needle sideways and working up the body. I'm not going straight in, I'm going sideways just to smooth it out. So his neck's right here. You want to kind of comb that up there. His little neck, back of his head. Just keep doing this all over him until he's nice and smooth. Okay, so I've been working on him for about 20 minutes, getting him all smooth, getting all these little muscles dialed in here. It could take you longer, you never know. You know, I just want him all nice and smooth. So that's kind of what we look like from the back. What we're gonna do now is shingle on his tail. You could shingle on his fur, but I think that this would be a waste. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to take some white, and we're up here where we folded it over. I'm going to move these legs out of the way. You're going to carefully stab a poof on. We're going to start from the tip to begin with. So you want it to kind of poof up into a point. Remember, there's a wire here. There's not a lot of fiber on there. So then now, see, this was 1/4 of an ounce, and this is what is left. Should be enough to do his tail. So Corriedale is only that long. These fibers are only that long. And just like we did the tail, the tip, let's just make a bunch of little piles. This is kind of like shingling. We actually won't shingle till we get to the very last one. So we want some of that white to stick out. So let's wrap. I want one in the back. Put a poof around the back. So you can see that will end up being a nice floofy tail. But now I want to take a little piece, and I'm going to wrap it around that to extra secure it. Gives me something to stab into. Now look, I'm missing a little bit over here. That's okay. I'll catch it on the next round. So we're going to do the same thing again. I'm going to make some piles. We're going to go around the tail. This isn't going to take a ton. You might not need to do as much this time. Well, I got to go into my second 1/4 ounce. Give me a little piece. Again, I'm going to go around the tail. So I have something to stab the ends into. If you have longer fibers than I do, you might not have to do this so many times. I'll only have to do it one more time. So this batch, I am going to lay up against the body. I'm going to do one section at a time. This is actually called shingling, where we're going to do it. We're going to actually felt it in. Then I'm going to fold it up and then felt in the base. So I'm going to do it until it's all covered all the way around. Oops. I went backwards. And then fold it up. Probably only need this last one. And then we're going to shape the tail a little bit. Don't stab your hand while you're trying to stab the base of this tail. I have a loose piece. That's why I like to comb it with my needle. So we're gonna, foxtails kind of go like a flame shape. Don't worry about that white up there. It's okay if that, you want that sticking out a little bit. Just give them a couple pokes. I have a little white spot here I need to cover. You want this to stay kind of fluffy. I need to cover these white spots that I didn't see. He's a little skinny right there. Now I'm being picky. See right here? There's a little space. I'm going to just fill that in. You know, we always go back and touch things up once we think we're done. Just his little legs. Now we have this. I like this to be pointed and not sticking out too far. So I'm going to take some scissors It's a good thing I was never a cosmetologist. That way he's all nice and trimmed up. Now, if you want to put whiskers on, you can. You could use horsehair or pieces of an old paintbrush that's black are a good thing. We'll just tilt his little head up, do a little poking inside of his ears. Have a little line there. And there you have it. We made a little fox. Oh, one other thing I was going to talk about. If you want to get rid of, like, if you have any fuzzies on these black legs, a little bit of hair gel, twist it around it, will get rid of all your fuzzies. I'll probably do that. I know that you guys know that if you subscribe, it really helps us out. And YouTube says 50% of our viewers aren't subscribed. So click that subscribe button because it does help us out. And click like. And then come back next time and see what we're going to make. I hope you had fun with this one. The supply list is in the video, and all the supplies are available on liongate.org. So check out our farm store.